Good morning, and welcome to everyone here and everyone joining us online. I'm Charlie Morgan. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. We'll be conducting the service today. We are a people creating a beloved community here and believe in practicing and promoting the UU values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity in our congregation. And those values always spring from the love and the center that guides us all. We are people of purpose in this church. We work to make sure everyone feels welcome in this meeting house, and if you hear something that resonates with you here today, please consider becoming a member. And there are blue cards here. You can sign up. You'll be too late to become a member today. We'll be welcoming a number of new members today. The First Unitarian Church in New Bedford recognizes that the land we inhabit and enjoy sits on the unceded ancestral land of the Wampanoags. We give respect to the people of the First Light and their ancestors and honor them in our church. A couple of housekeeping notes. I already said it, the blue cards are there if you want to be a member. Join us for coffee hour after the service. We are live streaming. Please put your phones in worship mode. And we will now light our chalice. And Alec and Bree. The words are by the Oberlin Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. We light this chalice to find inner peace, love for each other, and faith in ourselves. Also to be welcoming to whoever we meet and kind to all living creatures. So gather around this light of hope as we share this time together.
Good morning, everyone. There is a little boo-boo in the order of service. It's actually responsive reading 728, not 738. So I will read the parts in the bold text, and you will read the parts in italics. Blessed are those who yearn for deepening more than escape, who are not afraid to grow in spirit. Blessed are those who bring their children, who invite their friends to come along to join in fellowship, service, learning, and growth. Blessed are those who know that the church is often imperfect, yet rather than harbor feelings of anger or disappointment, bring their concerns and needs to the attention of the church leaders. Blessed are those who speak their minds in meetings, who can take and give criticism, who keep alive their sense of humor. Are they indeed? Our opening hymn is number 1. May nothing evil cross this door.
May nothing evil cross this door, and may ill fortune never pry about these windows. May the roaring rain go by. By faith made strong, the rafters will withstand the battering of the storm. This heart through all the world grow chill will keep you warm. Peace shall walk softly through these rooms, touching our lips with holy wine, till every casual corner blooms into a shrine. With laughter drown the raucous shouts, and through these sheltering walls are thin, may they be strong to keep hate out and hold love in.
Please take a moment to greet one another. Please remain standing for the unison reading of our covenant. We come together as a religious community upholding freedom of conscience, right relationship, and the inherent worth of all people. We value our diversity and pledge to care for one another in the spirit of compassion, to speak and listen to each other with respect, and to promote justice and kindness in the world.
Good morning, everyone. Our theme this month is trust, if you haven't read that in our lovely News and Views letter. And before I get into it, I just have to share this story because I feel so lucky and blessed that when I went into Savers to look for my new jean jacket, I felt something in the pocket and I thought, yes, a wallet. It was Holy Communion, a shot of wine and a wafer. And I thought, me of all people, I am so happy, I'm not gonna eat it, so I just tucked it back in and I put it there for the next person to find it. So you never know when those blessings pop up. So when they do, trust yourself because it means something. So this is a story that probably when I first became a DRE, I was privileged to have this taught to me. And I haven't read it in a long time, and I'm going to try and do my best to recall it from memory and add in some different things. So long, long ago, there was an emperor in China, and he didn't have any children, and he was getting really old, so he was like, woo, how am I going to have a successor to my throne? And he loved flowers and plants and gardens, and you could just smell it and see it. It was just a sensational experience. And no one was surprised when he decided to test the children with this offer. So he sent a proclamation throughout all the land. And of course, all the parents were like, oh yeah, You know my kid's gonna do this. I'm gonna get them going. I'm gonna put them in this club and that club and put them in every single thing and book them until they are solid with all the skills they need to grow a plant. So the children run from the palace. They're smiling because all they had to do is grow a seed into a plant in 1 year's time. So what did the children decide to do besides the ones who were overbooked? They procrastinated. You know, like homework. They waited and waited and waited and waited. And some of the children actually forgot their seeds and lost them, and they kept on being like, Mom, where's my seed? And it was like, it was on your shelf. It's like, well, I don't know, and everyone's freaking out. But there was this one little boy, his name was Ping, and he said, I'm taking care of this seed right away. And he got the seed, and he carried it home as if it was on a platter, and he was careful not to crush it, and he was so delicate with it that he went home and said, my grandfather built this pot with his hands. I'm going to plant my seed in the most special, beautiful pot. So he puts the seed in, and he adds his dirt, and of course, sunshine. And what does every plant need? You know. Join me. Yes. Water. And if you could all join me in helping me sing this one little bit of a hymn. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. You know you sing to your plants. I do. So he does all this, and nothing happens. And he's kind of like, oh no, this can't be. I'm like the best planter around. So a year passes, and it's time to come. All the children, they wear their best, and they're running to the emperor, and one child's like, hey, Ping, what's wrong with you? Why do you have an empty pot? And he's like, no, I don't. It's the most beautiful pot in the land. I did everything. I tried my best. I got it a new pot, and I watered it, and I took care of it. And the other children were like, haha, you couldn't get it to grow, because, you know, some children are bullies. So he was so embarrassed. And the emperor's walking around, and he finally comes to Ping, and he's looking at all the beautiful plants, and he goes, I have found the new emperor. For where all of you got your seeds, I do not know, for I boiled them, and they were unable to grow. But if you do your best, and you try your hardest, hard work feels good. So I choose him, because I know he did his best, and he came to me with the truth. So that is how Ping became the new emperor of the land and became the most beautiful gardener. And all the other children, well, he was so nice that he invited them over, and everyone had a good time afterwards. So that's how the story goes. We're going to stay in service until the new member part is completed, and then we will go to our next Sunday school session.
'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed. And when we find ourselves in will be our delight, till by turning we come round right, till by turning we come round right.
So, this is our new member service. I'm really excited. Membership in a spiritual community means sharing yourself with others as yourself grows and changes. It means supporting each other in our individual collective pursuit of truth. And here it means being keepers of a very long and really cool dream. Here in this church, human beings have gathered for centuries, seeking a higher purpose and a deeper life than they could find alone. So as we have done happily over and over again, we welcome our new members today. The relationships we form in our church are based on needs of the soul, needs that render each of us vulnerable, and therefore reliant on each other's grace and goodness and generosity of spirit. As members of this church, we pledge to be guardians of each other's spirit. As members of this church, we promise to respect the privacy of each other's human struggle and share in it with them. We are keepers of this long dream of liberal religious community, a tolerant and supportive environment in which we can share our joys and concerns, where people laugh and cry with us, and where we never need be alone in our grief or delight. As members, we also take on the role of being stewards of this beautiful building, and we become part of an inner city community, giving of our time, talent, and treasure. Part of the beauty of this long dream we keep is that it isn't a dream that's just in our hearts and minds. Our history is manifest all around us here. And I don't know about you, but I really like being part of this long line of keepers of this place here. I can feel the past and relish it. And I also feel the future stretching out before us, though, and it makes me really happy. So if I've come to understand anything from my own fairly long 25-year membership here in this congregation, it's that what we do is important. And every member who becomes involved takes part in shaping the future of this church, as well as carrying the best parts of our history forward. So in that spirit, can we have the following new members please come forward? Let's see, who do we have? We don't have Judy here today. Bernadette Costa, Donna Martocci, Mario Byrne, Hannah and Abby Schwarzhans, who just did a marvelous job, and Monica Mejia, I think I got that right, who also played a lovely flute for us, Kwang Arnzen, Perry Harrison, Deborah Crockett Rice is not here today. I think that's all the people that we had. Huli J is not here today either, but she is also a new member. Okay, I'm gonna move forward so I can see your gorgeous faces. Look at you guys, you're beautiful. We welcome all of you, and we are grateful today for each one of you that you have found your way here and that you have decided to make a commitment to this community. We hope that as members of this church, you will allow yourselves to know and to be known, to minister and to minister unto, to love and to be loved by this congregation. So, new members, we are so glad that you have chosen this community of fellow seekers to travel with you on through life's journeys. Will you accept our gifts of fellowship, discovery, and service? Will you offer us your unique presence and gifts? Will you add your name to the long history of Unitarian Universalists who spread hope and love with our living faith? And will you engage with us as we seek to create a beloved community and a world dedicated to justice and love? Outstanding. My congregation, will you welcome these new members with the warmth and comfort of your fellowship? Will you seek to add your strengths and talents to the new gifts that they bring to us? Will you share our triumphs and struggles as our community grows and changes? Excellent. Then, with the blessings of this congregation and all the ancestors of this church, I officially welcome you into this community of caring and trust. And now I'm going to have you sign the book if you haven't done so already. And I have some gift bags for all of you. And I'm gonna come give you a hug because I can see Bernadette crying already. Stop. Let me finish reading this. Okay, here are your prizes, was all that I had left to say. So I'm going to give you your bags. We're going to sign the book. And as you can see, all those kitty cats that I made up there, and there's some bunnies, you each get to choose one of those for free. All the kids are going to get to, I know, Alex, you've already got yours. So all the kids are going to be able to choose one after the service, though, okay? All right. All right, after the service, you can choose one, either a bunny or a kitty, and we have a special doggy for Alora because it was her birthday. I feel bad because we sang happy birthday to Annika last week, not knowing that Alora's birthday was 2 days later, so we should have sang it for both of them. So we have something special for you, Alora. Welcome, everyone. We are so glad to have you with us. It just fills my heart with joy. So I'm going to get a pen and we'll sign the book.
And I'm going to use this time to invite all the Sunday school children to go ahead so that you can all join me in reading as the children lead the sanctuary. May the words we say be kind and true. May love be God in all that we do. May kindness shine in our hearts, and peace be with us over our hearts.
That's your final. I'm so glad. Oh, okay. All right, that's all right. And David just asked me to remind you that there will be a name tag station downstairs today when we go and talk to all the committee chairs. So we want to try to get people, since we've got so many new members and new faces and visitors, please go ahead and wear a name tag. That would be really helpful. So see David after the service for that part. Okay, I think we're done here.
If you would now join me for a time of prayer and meditation. This prayer is from John O'Donoghue for a new home. May this house shelter your life when you come in here. May all the weight of the world fall from your shoulders. May your heart be tranquil here, blessed by peace the world cannot give. May this house be a lucky place where the graces your life desires always find a pathway to your door. May nothing destructive ever cross your threshold. May this be a safe place full of understanding and acceptance, where you can be as you are, without the need for a mask or pretense or image. May this house be a place of discovery, where the possibilities that sleep in the clay of your soul can emerge, to deepen and refine your vision for all that is yet to come. May it be a house of courage, where healing and growth are loved, where dignity and forgiveness prevail, a home where patience of spirit is praised, and the sight of the destination is never lost. Though the journey be difficult and slow, may there be great delight around this hearth. May it be a house of welcome for the broken and the diminished. May you have the eyes to see that no visitor arrives without a gift, and no guest leaves without a blessing.
Now is the time in our order of service where we ask you to join in supporting the church financially for the work of the minister, for the warmth of the radiators, for the playing of the piano and the organ. And for those of you who are joining us online and would like to make a donation, there is a donate button on our website.
So my name is Steve Carmel, and I was elected to the Board of Trustees by you for a possible 6 years. And I found myself being the president of the Board of Trustees because the trustees voted me to be the president. I also serve on the House and Grounds Committee. I am privileged to serve with Jessica, and I really have a hard time with her last name. I'm going to say the end of it, Carrie, who is our very excellent administrator, Tony Gonzalez, who is our full-time sexton, and Mark Silva, who is a volunteer sexton. And I serve with the other trustees, who are Pam Sherman. Would you come up, Pam? Who heads up our thrift store and does an excellent job. Mary Raposa, who is on the House, yeah, come right up, on the Garden Committee. Elise Raposa, who is our awesome recording secretary. Charles Morgan, who is on the RE committee. You'll see that all these people are on doing more than one thing in this church. And Nico Tarini, who is the head of our nominating committee. You know, if you're interested in serving on a board, you should contact Nico. We need another trustee. We're one trustee down. And that's all I have to say. If any of the trustees wish to speak, if any of the trustees have something to say, please, yep, go ahead.
supposed to be the sermon, but I'll do it from down here. And also, just before I get into my prepared remarks, I'll mention that after the service during coffee hour, we're having a bit of a committee fair. So anyone who's interested in getting more directly involved in ways they can participate in the life of the church, there'll be multiple opportunities to connect to the committee chairs. So it's hard to believe that a decade has passed since we embraced the transition to a part-time minister and made the commitment to shared ministry as a way of ensuring that this congregation not only endured but thrived. I know a lot of you weren't here at this time, but it was a bit of a transition at the time. And that shift was not just about adapting to fewer ministerial hours, it was also about rediscovering the true essence of ministry in our Unitarian Universalist faith. Shared ministry is not just a practical necessity, it is a spiritual calling. It is a model deeply rooted in our history and traditions, reflecting the wisdom of those who have long understood that leadership and care are not the work of the one, but of many. Across cultures and generations, communities have always relied on the collective strength of individuals coming together to sustain and support one another. It takes a village, as the saying goes, and in our case, it takes a congregation. Ministry is not just a title or a role. Ministry is also a verb. It is something we do. To minister is to care for one another, to show up and to contribute what we can, to listen, to act. This is the foundation of shared ministry, the understanding that each of us is both a steward and a participant in the life of this church. It is both a privilege and a responsibility. I'll add that that last piece was inspired by Karen's sermon on shared ministry when we first launched this 10 years ago. It is a privilege because through shared ministry, we are entrusted with the opportunity to shape the role this church plays in the world. We have the freedom to explore new ideas, to create programs that reflect our values, and to gather in this space to worship, discuss, and celebrate. We are not just participants, we are co-creators, empowered to dream, to innovate, and to make this congregation our own. This is not just a place where we come to receive, it is a place where we are invited to express ourselves, to lead, and to bring our unique gifts into the life of the church. And it is a responsibility because a church, our church, only functions when each of us do our part. Shared ministry means seeing what needs to be done and stepping up. It means making the phone call to check in on a friend who hasn't been here in a while, offering a ride to someone who otherwise couldn't come, showing up in the kitchen to wash the dishes without being asked. It means recognizing that ministry is not confined to a pulpit. It is in the conversations at coffee hour, the lessons taught to our children, the music that fills this space, and the work that we do together in our community. Sociologist Robert Putnam, in Bowling Alone, wrote about the decline of social capital, the ways in which communities have become isolated, less engaged, more disconnected from one another, and how that actually results in less well-functioning societies, particularly in a democracy. But shared ministry is the antidote to that. It builds social capital. It strengthens the bonds that hold us together. When we commit to ministering to one another and to the broader world, we are building something far greater than any one of us alone. We are weaving the fabric of a community that is strong, resilient, and filled with love. So, as we reflect on the past 10 years, let us renew our commitment to that model, not as a compromise, but as a calling. Let us remember that what we have here is precious. Let us continue to be keepers of the dream, stewards of this shared beloved space, and ministers to one another and to the world. This is our shared ministry. This is our work, and together we will make it flourish. I will now invite up Deb, who will go. She's already up here. Okay, great.
It's fun. Elise has spoken with great inspiration about the shared ministry. I have to tell you that she describes a broad range of opportunities that we can take part in this endeavor. My part is a little more down to earth. I want to speak especially to the new members or people who have been new in the past few years to put some clear foundations to the ideals that Elise has described. That is, I plan to talk about the church as an organization. It's bigger than me. We've got members, we have friends, we have finances, we have employees, and we have a building to support. Let's start a little bit with the legalities. The members of this church are the legal owners of this church. We own it, it's ours. Although we join with other UU churches in the Unitarian Universalist Association, the UUA has no financial responsibility to us. The members of the church, that's us, as Steve said, meet at least once each year to elect a board of trustees. Their duty is to make decisions about the management of the organization. Okay, the CFO, the CEO, all the board of directors, that's us. And their duty is to make decisions about management. They hire the staff, they're responsible for paying the bills, and decide which projects to support. So if you've got a project, go to the board. In all of the decisions that they make, the board welcomes ideas and suggestions from the congregation. At the annual meeting in May, soon, the members, that's us, will approve a budget. The budget is proposed by the trustees, but the congregation has to approve it. Our fiscal year starts July 1st. We're kind of like a school year, so that the year we're in started last July, but we call it 24-25. It's 25. And I was elected treasurer at the last annual meeting. Oh, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Deb. My job is to pay the bills and find the money to pay them. Speaking of paying the bills, how much do you think it costs to run this place? Okay, if you've been reading the minutes of the Board of Trustees that get sent out to the congregation, you would know that it costs us more than $250,000 a year to run this place. Whoa, how could it possibly cost that much? Well, about 1/3 pays for the building. That's the heat and the insurance. And I am expecting that to go through the roof next year because of climate change. And of course the heat, and 1/3 of the budget pays for the office and all of the projects that we do, and about 1/3 pays for the Sunday services and the Sunday school. And so our members pledge every year how much they think they can afford to spend to support the church. And this past year, the pledges amounted to something that almost pays for Sunday school and the church service. So, fortunately, we have other sources of support. And I'll be glad to go over them with you if you want to discuss it after the service. I'm not going into it right now. Let me just talk about pledges as opposed to donations. Donations are money that people give. Don't get me wrong, I love donations, but a pledge is a promise. And the useful thing for those of us who run the church is that if we know we've got a pledge that will definitely support the Sunday service and the Sunday school, we can rely on that. We don't have to wait and say, well, you know, somebody might be feeling a little flush today and give a little more money. But the promise to pay, give the Board of Trustees a clear understanding of how much the congregation is able to pay. And some people pay a lump sum at the beginning of the year and then they're done. Other people would much prefer to send money every month. And now more and more we have people who are sending money through the internet, online, you know, with people that click on those Q codes, or we send a check, but different people do it differently. So there's lots of possibilities, and if you have a question about a different way to pay, talk to Jess. One of the points that Elise had made in her part of the sermon was that we have a shared ministry here. As we go forward, let's remember that each of us may be able to contribute on several levels, as Steve said this morning. Okay, all these people are doing at least 2 things. Some people have time to give, some people have money to donate, and everyone has special skills and interests that could be useful and can be shared and encouraged by other people. You know, we can do it together. In short, let's use our time, treasure, and talent to help our community. Fortunately, I have time to volunteer. I'm retired. Notice that I offer to help in only certain areas. I love to cook. I love to eat. Hospitality. I love numbers. That's really the treasurer's job. Applying my talents makes me happy. They may not be your talents, but I'm sure you have them. I've got some ideas about where you can contribute. Something that is really important, you can grow the congregation, and I've already seen that happen this year. Invite your friends to come. Advertise our events. Link what we do to things that other groups do that are similar. Volunteer to help out at our events and fairs. I know Jess has a whole lot of fun making those raffle baskets. She likes to buy the things that she can find good deals. Those of you who like to shop with little money, you'd like to do that too. Talk to Jess. Pledge more. The opportunity is coming soon. Join a committee or invent one. As you can see when we go out and look at the committees, some of them only have one person presently as a member. So find new events to expand the use of the building. Reach out to community organizations. I can see why Karen just passes the page over. This way she doesn't have to turn it. Sign up to usher. I have to say that it looks as though Charlie is the permanent usher, but actually some other people could be ushers besides Charlie. There's a slot for bringing a birthday cake once a month for the people whose birthday was in that month. Identify new grant opportunities. If you know people who have money to give, let us know. No one person can do all these things. That's why we have a shared ministry. I hope that everyone can find involvement that gives them joy. I believe that when you love a job, the end result spreads love. So now, please stand if you're willing and able and join me in hymn number 114, Forward Through the Ages.
divine. Alone we conquer, not alone we fall. In each loss or triumph, lose or triumph all. Bound by God's for purpose, in one living whole, move we on together to the shining goal. Forward through the ages in unbroken line, move the faithful spirits at the call divine.
I'm going to read the closing words. You can sit down. Oh, and also before Randy starts the postlude, the people who are committee chairs and are going to discuss the committees might want to leave a little early so that you can get ready and have coffee. The closing words. Hi, Judith. If here you have found freedom, take it with you into the world. If you have found comfort, go and share it with others. If you have dreamed dreams, help one another that they may come true. If you have known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world.
Hold fast, my church. Ugh. We love you. Stay strong. Go in peace. Live long and prosper. Committee chairs, go ahead, go down now, get some coffee and stuff. Everyone else, please stay for the postlude. I'm going to find a Band-Aid.